Billy Gibbons, we all know that he's the man, right? He's just too cool. So we're going to talk about what makes Billy so special. Break down all these little things that were in that Billy Gibbons inspired phrase that you heard at the beginning and dive into this full-on Billy Gibbons goodness. Now, before we get into all of that, this phrase is actually coming from my brand new course, Legends Unlocked, Billy Gibbons Edition, where we dive into all kinds of stuff. So if you like what's going on here, this is taken straight from the course. You've got a whole lead section on Billy's style of phrasing and lead licks and ideas, as well as the other half of the course is all based around rhythm and riff concepts that you see in all kinds of ZZ Top songs and just Billy's playing in general. So the course is going to be on sale this week for Black Friday, and if you get it during the Black Friday sale, you will get an invitation to the live clinic that I'm going to do. So if you want to get included in that, you got to get it during this week. And let's get into the lesson. All right, on to the final one here, and we have again switched keys. This is kind of like a C idea. And you notice that each one of the backing tracks, it's kind of paying homage to different eras of ZZ Top. This is definitely the more modern side that went into the 80s with all the, the big hits and all that kind of stuff. So with this one, right out of the gate, what we're doing here is something that you hear in like 90% of the ZZ Top songs. Billy's always doing this little like jab into the root note right there. So I'm just thinking C minor pentatonic. And I'm gonna go from 11th fret on the B up to 13th fret. And again, I'm adding that rake motion that we talked about, and I think it was phrase number 1. So I'm sliding my hand up and picking up here, but I'm muting the strings with my left hand. Right there. Now what I do here is this kind of, I don't know how to describe it other than like a dying bend. You hear the bend happen and it just kind of like slowly fades away. So I'm going to go to 10th fret on the G, and I bend it up and let it come back down, and then I go and I kind of pull off and I go to 8th fret on the G, and I hear that one go up a little bit and then the bend just kind of dies out. So you've got right there. Now I'm going to go to 10th fret on the D, and I kind of again go 11th fret on the B and slide up to 13th fret. Now we're going to hit it with another one of those little hybrid picking thing that Billy does so much. And then a super melodic descending pentatonic idea. So, I'm bending 11th fret on the G up, and then I go to 8th fret on the high string, then I go back to 11, and I'm going to play 8th fret on the high string twice. Again, it's all about kind of like getting into the swing of that riff. I'm going to go to, my wife's laughing at me for singing the riff, but that's what you got to do sometimes. You sing the riff. And I'm going to do another finger roll here. I'm going to go 10th fret on the G to 10th fret on the D. So you've got, and I'm going to go to 8th fret on the G at that point. And again, you want to throw in the pinch harmonics? I did it on accident, but I'm like, oh, that totally sounded like a Billy Gibbons thing. I should have done that. Throw in these little pinch harmonics kind of all over the place if you want to like spice it up a little bit. So after that, 8th fret on the G, pinch harmonic or not, whatever you're feeling. You're gonna roll your fingers again. You're gonna go 10th fret on the G to 10th fret on the D, and then 8th fret on the G again twice. So we've got. 10th fret on the D, 8th fret on the D, real quick hammer on. Again, these are all little things that Billy does a lot in his playing. That ba-bow. Now we're going to go all the way down to box number 5. And I'm starting off with a bend. So similar idea is what we have here, but we're just kind of tweaking them, just like Billy does. So you're gonna go to 8th fret on the A, and you start off with a little bit of a bend, release it, and go back to 6th fret. Okay, so I'm doing a pull off right there. Sliding up from 8th to 10th, rolling my finger down, getting that note right there. Now I let it slide back down to 8th fret, and then I go to 6th. Now, what is important to notice that we're doing here, because we did a similar lick in lick number 1 where we resolved that one to a root note. We are not going to a root note here. These are all of the little things that you want to like be just making yourself aware of, like, oh, I don't have to always end on the root note. What are we doing? We're ending on our minor third when we do that. Right there. I did not resolve it. It wants to resolve. But you can do that. You can end on that minor third, and it's going to sound nice and cool. Another little thing that I want to point out here is there was a little bit of space between those two sections. You know, right there when I did that. So that was a very long passage of a lot of notes. Take a little breath, then you go to the next phrase. And if you want to, slide that note off there, give it the attitude. Now, next we're going to do a similar thing where we're bending into that 4 chord. I'm going to go to 9th fret on the G, bending up to 10th fret. Then I'm going to go 8th fret on the high string and the B. Going to go up to 11th fret, 8 and 10, sorry, 8 and 8. So now when it goes to the 5 chord, so after you outline that 5, by going 11, slide up to 12, and then 10th fret on the highs, you're gonna go, that's 10th fret on the G, bend it up. Now this time we're not letting it fall on its own, we're adding a little bit more aggression to it by picking all the notes. So I go 10 bend, 10 unbend, down to 8, right there, and then 10th fret on the D. 8 to 10 on the D, 8 on the G with a little bit of bend. Okay, back to that 10 on the D, and then 8 to 10 again on the D. Right there, so a lot happens in just a short amount of time. You've got the... all of it's right there. The phrasing, the melody, the Billy, the beard, the hybrid picking. There's a lot going on there. And I think that's gonna be it. Thank you guys all so much for watching the video. If you check out the course, I really do appreciate it. That means a lot. I'm having a lot of fun making these. We're gonna go ahead and end it bluesy, Billy Gibbons style.